Heidi Siefkas is an author of 4 nonfiction books, a motivational speaker on resilience, and an adventurer.
When life wants to get your attention, it sometimes whispers. Other times, it drops a 1,000-pound tree limb on your head. I'm Heidi Siefkas, and this is my true story of the most surreal wake-up call I have ever received, and how I rose like the phoenix from the ashes. Okay, let me take you back to the day before the tree. I was living a life that people on LinkedIn would say was dreamy. I was a VP in the travel industry, married to a Brazilian chef. And we had a charming little home. I hiked, biked, and kayaked on the weekends, and on the weekdays, I juggled meetings across time zones like a Cirque du Soleil act on espresso. I was fueled by caffeine until it was okay or appropriate to drink wine. It was a very impressive life. That was until the letter. On my husband's laptop that was left open, meant for me to see a multi-page confessional letter from another woman. And not a fling, folks, a year-long affair. To stoke the fire, he gave her the same nickname as me. Is nothing sacred? That rat bastard! The letter was a declaration of love and betrayal from the other woman that was thrown into my seemingly perfect life like a Molotov cocktail. I was enraged. Speed dial wasn't fast enough. I wanted to hear from the horse's mouth. But he was at work. He wouldn't come home. I should have driven to see him in person, but instead I decided to go for a walk. I took out the last night's pizza box to the dumpster, and that's where the universe pulled out the big guns. On a perfect fall day, a 1,000-pound tree limb fell from 30 feet in the air, striking me lights out. I awoke 5 days later in the ICU with a broken neck, C7 to be exact, black eye, brain swelling, and no recollection of anything. I was confused with all the beeping machines, tubes, and of course I don't remember anything, but petrified because I was in a torso, neck, and back brace that I looked like a stormtrooper from Star Wars. My doctors tried to put the pieces of my own puzzle together for me, and they reiterated over and over that I was lucky to be alive and not paralyzed. I said to myself, this isn't my life, this can't be real. But in fact, folks, it was, and I was still standing. So over the next 6 months, I was recovering in said brace, which I called my cage, and I had nothing but time to think, reflect, and feel. I replayed the betrayal, the pain, and the absurdity of being taken out by a tree. And I had a realization. This just wasn't an accident. It was an intervention. Maybe not divine, but cosmic. I had ignored all the smoke signals, missed the signs. The whispers became screams, and it took the universe dropping a frickin' tree on my head that I listened. So, as I started healing, first the bruises and then the lengthy recovery of the natural fusion of vertebra, there was this persistent voice that whispered, "This isn't it. This isn't you." We all have that voice. Mine was shoved in a corner behind deadlines, flights, and baby, a to-do list as long as a CVS receipt. But when the body breaks, the soul gets loud. I realized that I wasn't going to return to said life. My marriage, burned. My career is my identity, toast. The need to control things, look perfect, and do everything, reduced to ash. My mother and others suggested burning some sage and smudging the house in my life. But honestly, what is this wand of sage gonna do for a full-blown life catastrophe? I need a bale of sage, and I'm talking a circular bale of hay and a blowtorch to even touch this. So I stood in the rubble of my used-to-be life. Still, ashes hurt. And in that stillness, something happened. Like the mythic phoenix, there was something stirring in the ashes. It wasn't joy, not yet, but perspective. I started to see things that I passed by differently. The way the trees looked in the sunset, the laugh of an old friend, and oh my God, how glorious is it to shower after 6 months of sponge baths. The accident didn't destroy me. It stripped me of all the distractions, delusions, and the story I was telling myself of what a successful life looks like. But it gave me clarity, stillness, and permission to start over, not with those same pieces, but with completely new ones. I got a clean bill of health from my doctors. I was forced to resign from that high-powered career, and I divorced the rat bastard. So I proudly stand here before you as an honorary holder of a doctorate from the School of Hard Knocks, because I earned it. Yeah, that's right, it deserves applause. I'm a PhD, Dr. Siefkas. So from this major life curveball, the Look Up mantra was created, which prompts us to pause, reflect, and be grateful. Because by looking up, it reminds us there's an upside waiting, maybe above that smoldering chaos. Now, many of you may think that I'm suggesting that you request a tree to the head experience. No, there are much more gentler ways to wake up. But if you feel that you're burned out, betrayed, even broken, maybe pause and listen. The universe may be whispering. It may be saying, this isn't working. It may be nudging you for a match and lighter fluid. Because sometimes the only way to rise is to burn, baby. Let me leave you with this. The fire doesn't destroy you. It reveals who you really are. And if you're anything like me, you will rise from the ashes with neck brace and all. Here's to looking up all.